Good morning, all of you. Myself, Shreya Bhomik, Sister Tutor of Priyambada Birla Institute of Nursing. Today, I am going to demonstrate oro and nasopharyngeal suctioning. So, when a patient is unable to clear the respiratory tract secretions with coughing voluntarily, then the nurse must initiate suctioning as a process to clear the airway. So, the primary method of suctioning used are the oropharyngeal suctioning and the nasopharyngeal suctioning. So, what is this oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning? It is a process of removing the secretions from the oral cavity, nose and from the pharynx. That is why it is named as oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal. But in a patient who is unable to cough out the secretions voluntarily. That is, it helps in the removal of the secretions from the upper respiratory tract. So, what are the purposes of this oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning? First, it helps in the removal of the secretion that obstruct the airway. Next, it also helps in the prevention of the infection that may result from the accumulation of these secretions. Also, it stimulates the effective cough reflex and it facilitates the ventilation. What are the indications of oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning? So, first point is if there is any audible or visual signs of secretions. Next, the second point is if there is any signs of respiratory distress which causes desaturation. Desaturation means when we can observe that there is drop in the saturation level with the help of pulse oximeter, where we attach a probe to the finger over the finger and we can easily check the saturation reading. In the third point, when there is inability of the patient to cough out the secretions voluntarily, as I have mentioned. And lastly, if there is any vomitus, observable vomitus, that can be blood also. So if there is vomitus, that may cause aspiration, which in turn can cause aspiration pneumonia. So in all these cases, we need to perform suctioning to help the patient to clear their secretion. Now I am going to demonstrate the procedure and explain the articles which are required for the procedure. Here you can see I have arranged all the articles which are required for oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning. At first, this is a treatment towel with Macintosh to protect the bed linen and the garments of the patient while suctioning. Next, this is a hand care, sterile hand care, which is used to cover the hand and also to maintain the universal precaution. Next, we have to also cover our mouth with a face mask. This is a knife dish containing tongue depressor, which is used to open the patient mouth and visualize the secretion, which will help in the suctioning. In the gallipot, I have taken a 14 French suction catheter tube. Usually the adult size of the tubings is from 14 to 16 and here I have taken 14 French. These two bowls, it is a sterile bowl containing normal saline where we can also take boiled and cooled water, which will help to flush the catheter after each suction. For discarding purpose, I have taken a paper bag to discard the dry waste material, a kidney dish to discard the wet waste material. Here I have also taken a sputum mug containing 5% Sablon solution where to collect the sputum and few mouth wipes to wipe the patient mouth. I have also taken a portable suction machine here. Here a portable suction machine contains 2 glass chambers. 2 glass chambers are used to collect the secretions. Basically 2 are used. If one gets filled up, then we may use the next one. These tubings are the connector tubings where in the tubings I have attached a Y connector. Y connector, as you can observe the shape of the connector, it is Y shaped. So it is named as Y connector. In Y connector, in one port we have to attach the suction catheter. I will show you later. And in the other part, we have to create a negative pressure by pressing like this. You can also see a pressure meter where we can observe the pressure we are using while performing suctioning. In case of adult, we have to maintain 200 to 360 mm of Hg pressure. And this is the switch. Also, there is a tube, electrical wire which is connected to the main source of electricity. She is my assigned patient, Mrs. Meena Devi, aged 62 years, admitted with chief complaint of acute respiratory illness, with unable to cough out the secretions effectively, and doctor has advised to perform oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning intermittently. So for this, we have to first check the patient's identity. So you can check the patient identity by calling the patient by his or her name. So Mrs. Meena, can you help me with your full name? If the patient is conscious, then the patient will tell her name, and if in case of unconscious patient or in case of conscious patient, you have to recheck with the or cross check with his or her ID band. In the ID band, you have to check patient's name, registration number, sex and unit number. After this, you have to cross check the identity with ID band and also with the patient file, and also you have to observe the correct bed number of the patient. So with this, you have to assess the proper identity of the patient. After assessing for the correct patient, next we have to explain the patient about the procedure. What you will explain? You have to explain about what you are going to do during the procedure and what the patient will feel. So now I am going to explain to the patient. Mrs. Meena Devi, as you are having trouble in coughing out your secretions, I will perform suctioning. While I insert the catheter, you might feel some kind of discomfort, but after that you will definitely feel relief. So kindly cooperate with me, and during the procedure, if you have any problem, you can surely tell me. Like this, you have to convince the patient and you have to instruct the patient. After explaining to the patient, you have to assess the patient's baseline data. So assessing the baseline data means you have to check the vital signs of the patients, which include temperature, pulse, respiration, BP, and also in this case you have to focus on the oxygen saturation, as I have previously mentioned. So in my patient, temperature is normal, BP is also in the normal range, but her pulse and respiration is on the higher note. Her pulse is about 90 beats per minute and her respiration is around 28 beats per minute. Her saturation level is around 90 to 93% in the room air. After assessing for the vital signs, next you have to provide the patient with a proper position. So in this case of oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning, you have to provide a semi-Fowler's position with the neck slightly hyperextended, which will help you to visualize the mouth and the nares easily. Now, after patient explanation and proper patient identification and assessment, also we have to keep in mind about the environmental preparation, where you can see that for providing or maintaining the privacy of the patient, I have used a screen. You may also draw the curtain where it is available. You can also see that I have assembled all the articles to the patient bedside. I have switched on the lights and I have put off the fan. Before going for hand washing, I have already spread the Macintosh with treatment towel and I have already lowered down the side rails. And now I have washed my hands. I have put on the mask before hand washing. I will now wear the gloves. I have only put on gloves on my one hand only, because as I am alone, I will be using one hand technique. If you have any assistant, you can wear gloves on both the hands. Now we have to attach the suction catheter with the Y connector. And we have to put on the suction machine. Before inserting it to the patient mouth, you must lubricate the catheter tip with the normal saline. So here I am lubricating the catheter tip, and after that you have to insert it in the patient's mouth. Mrs. Meena Devi, Now I am going to gently insert this catheter in your mouth to remove the secretions. While inserting the catheter, do not create a negative pressure. Means do not close this side of the Y connector. After inserting this, you have to gently create a negative pressure by pressing this side of Y connector and moving the catheter all over the mouth gently so that you suck out the excess secretion from the mouth. And then you may create here negative pressure. After that, you have to rinse the catheter again before inserting it to the patient mouth. Also, you have to keep in mind that you can't insert this catheter for longer than 10 to 15 seconds as it will lead to hypoxia. And always rinse the catheter before doing the next suction. And you have to continue this process until and unless you see there is no signs of secretions or the patient is able to cough out the secretions easily. After completing with the oral suctioning, you have to perform the nasal suctioning also. For this, you can see as the neck is hyperextended, this posture we have to provide to the patient to visualize the nares clearly. Before inserting the catheter, you have to inform the patient. Mrs. Meena, now I will perform nasal suctioning, okay? Before inserting the catheter, you have to lubricate the catheter with normal saline. As you can see, I have taken two separate bowls, one for performing oral suctioning and the other one for nasal suctioning. So I will use the other bowl to lubricate the catheter tip. Now I will gently insert the catheter through one of the nares. While withdrawing, you have to create a negative pressure and gently rotate the catheter through all the surface. Again, after this, you have to flush the catheter. After flushing, you can perform the nasal suctioning to the other nostril. If you observe any kind of secretions, you can always wipe the patient mouth after completing the suctioning. After completing suction, you have to disconnect this catheter from the connector tubing. Like you have to wrap the catheter within your palms and you have to cover it like this, and you have to unwrap the gloves over it and throw it in the red bin. After completing the procedure, as you can see, I have removed all the used articles. I have provided a comfortable position to the patient. I have put on the side rails for patient safety. And now after this, I will discuss about the termination. Now in the termination phase, at first you have to discard gauge piece in the yellow bin, paper bag in the black bin, and you have to wash the sputum mug with soapy water, running water, and you have to keep it at the patient side for further use of the patient. Rest all the steel articles must be dipped in the bleaching solution for half an hour. After that, you have to wash it with running water followed by soapy water and rinse it again with running water. You have to dry the articles and send for sterilization. So now I will discuss about the recording of the procedure. In the recording part, you have to record the procedure according to the format. So here you can see at first, first is patient identification data. In the patient identification data, you have to mention name of the patient, bed number, ID, ward, diagnosis and chief complaint. Also you have to mention there the doctor's name. So this completes the identification data. After identification data, you have to fill up every column. That is, first you have to mention the date and time of the procedure. After that, you have to write the vital signs that you have recorded before the procedure. Then you have to also mention the need of the patient. Here the need of the patient is need of oro and nasopharyngeal suctioning. Next comes the intervention. Means what you have done. So at first the patient was assessed thoroughly.
Next, the second point was you have checked for doctor's advice. Third point is explain the procedure to the patient to gain cooperation from the patient. Fourth point is vital signs and saturation of the patient is checked. Next, the point is you have provided the semifowler's position for this procedure for oro and nasopharyngeal suctioning. So, semifowler's position has been given to the patient. Next, oro and nasopharyngeal suctioning has been done. After that, you have provided psychological support that has been given to the patient by maintaining good IPR. IPR means interpersonal relationship, means with good communication with the patient. After the procedure, you have done termination. So, here comes the next point, that is termination of all the articles done as per the protocol, means as per the biomedical waste management protocol that I have already discussed in the termination part. After that, you have to record the procedure. So, next point is the recorded the findings and inform to the sister in charge, means you have to inform to the higher authority. After that, you have to again reassess the patient. So, after half an hour, again assess the patient condition, if there is any more secretions or is present or not. After that, you have to write the remarks. In the remarks section, you have to mention reduced respiratory rate, and after suctioning there is no secretions, vital signs and saturations are within normal limit, and now the patient feels comfort. At last, you have to sign the recording page, that is signature of the student is column is there, and beside that signature of the evaluator. So, you have to make it signed by your evaluator also.
So today I have discussed about suctioning, the primary techniques of suctioning, that is oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning, the purposes of it and the indication of performing suctioning. Next, I have also discussed about the articles which are required to perform this procedure. So you have also seen the various sizes of a suction catheter, and you have also seen how to operate a suction machine, followed by environmental setup, patient preparation and self preparation. After that, you have seen how to practically do oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning. After performing suctioning, you have also seen how you maintain a comfortable position, how you give patient a comfortable position. Oropharyngeal and nasopharyngeal suctioning, I must say it is very, very important, because a patient is unable to clear out his or her secretions voluntarily. So it aids in the normal breathing, it helps in the ventilation. So we must perform this suctioning as and when needed, and also we must inform the physician the findings, the recordings that we get. I am concluding my topic, and I hope you will be able to relate your theory with the practical session, and you will be able to understand how to perform this oro and nasopharyngeal suctioning. So thank you all of you for watching this video. I hope you will definitely practice and go through the theory portion.